Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to another episode of the Pattison Ave Phanatics Show. I'm your host, Tom Kelly. With me, as always, my man Joe Marks.
You.
Willie Guns.
You.
James the Hitman Scorza. Back in action. Feeling better than he did last week. It's good to have you back on, James. We were missing you last week, my brother. Before we get into the day at hand, the morning at hand, I want to go over a couple of things here. Let's talk about Fantees. 20% off of your order when you use the Edge of Philly promo code. I realize the holidays are over, but it's never a bad time to gift someone a wonderful Philly-themed T-shirt. And to go along with that T-shirt, get yourself an Edge of Philly hat. They come in 4 colors, green and cream, which is the one I own, black and white, charcoal and red, and charcoal and orange. I want that charcoal and orange one for you Flyers fans out there. Let's get into our lineup here on the Edge of Philly Sports Network. Start off with those boys of Birds IQ. A lot to talk about for them this week, us too. And then you move down the road to the Broad Street Bullies podcast. Them boys have some stuff to talk about, man, this week. We'll get into some Flyers on the show today, too. My guys, Bill and Chet over at Philly Press Box Radio, they have A-list guests almost every week, and they definitely bring the knowledge. And, of course, we can't forget on our network, the Edge of Philly Sports Show with my man Fred, Joe Sheeran, and Big Al Zafari. And if you're a lacrosse fan, Lax Philly covers it all. There's nothing in there these guys don't talk about, don't do, and their knowledge is off the chart when it comes to your lacrosse needs. But with that said, let's get into the show. Gentlemen, how are we doing this week? It's not that we don't have anything to talk about with the letting go of Doug Peterson. Should the Eagles have let him go? We'll go around the table. James, I want to start with you. What are you thinking about, or how do you feel about the Birds letting go of Doug Peterson?
Can you hear James?
James,
I guess I would say I think the one thing they should have did was what's that?
Oh, there you go. Go ahead, James.
No, I think the reason. Oh, I'm sorry about that. No, I was saying basically, I think they should have fired both of the guys, like Doug Peterson and Howie Roseman.
Both.
I think it would have been the better option, honestly, Tommy. Because if you look at Delaware, like Howie Roseman's still in deals, and he's still making he's still making draft picks. I mean, he's still here. I mean, I do tip my cap for them firing because it basically Doug Peterson didn't do a good job. But Howie Roseman's still here. That's the one thing that still sticks in my craw a little bit is that he's still that it doesn't make any sense that you fire one guy but you don't fire the other guy. But now I mean the other thing too is that like if when they fired Doug, I mean, was this the point all along? I don't understand it. It's just that it makes no logic sense to me. And I hear Jeffrey Lurie talk about it all on I think it was Monday. And it's like, what are you talking about? And he didn't make any logic sense. Like he didn't make, like he was trying to twist it into a pretzel, but it never made sense what he was saying.
Joey, how are you feeling about them releasing Doug? Guns, I already know how you feel about it, and I will get to you. Joey, how are you feeling about that?
It's ironic. It's ironic because we brought it up, or at least I brought up the hypothetical, which I thought was hypothetical, last Saturday about what if they released Doug tomorrow. It wasn't Sunday, but it was Monday. And, here's the thing. Well, yeah. No one does business on Sunday, apparently. The thing is, I kind of agree with James, is you still have a problem with Howie. And the thing that Lurie said that kind of irked me was he kind of gave Howie an out. He's like, well, Howie's not the only guy that's in the GM office. We have a staff of general managers. We have a staff of advisors. It's not only on Howie. It's like, but then who's making the decisions? If Howie's making the decisions, then he needs to be accountable. If he's not making the decisions, then he doesn't need to be accountable. And I understand your argument, but it's like there's a slew of excuses that came out of Lurie's mouth during that press conference, and I felt like Doug Peterson needed to go, but I felt like worst of all, he was kind of the scapegoat for this season, and I think he kind of took the bullet for Howie.
I agree. Willie, go. I'll give you guys my thought after Will goes. How are you feeling about them letting go of Doug Guns?
Well, I mean, they had to do something. So either it was Howie or Doug. But I look deeper into it, like I told you guys last week. I really do truly think that it came down to the people that he was the closest to, and I think that Lurie's really, really close to Howie Roseman. I think it would be like firing a best friend, and I think that when he had to make this decision, it was tough. It was a tough decision, but he knew that Doug could have a job somewhere else, right? He knew that. He knew Doug wouldn't be like not having a job, but he knew that Howie, that track record with the draft, might not have a job somewhere as a GM anymore. Maybe he would work in the front office somewhere as maybe can't do scouting because obviously he shit the bed on the draft so many times. But at the same time, Doug made bad play calls. Howie still put those guys on that field that were making plays sometimes, that did get into the red zone, that they did go for it on fourth down, that they asinine play calling, that you got a running back that can average 6 yards a carry with 15 carries. Give that running back 20 carries. Give that running back maybe 18 carries and 5 receptions a game. You got a dynamic player in that. You're going to win more games by that. It's just Doug Peterson loves that pass so much, man, that he'll push whatever he's got to do it. And this year he didn't have it. He had young wide receivers that weren't up to par on the NFL yet. You know what I mean? That weren't ready for the NFL yet. That the COVID really took time away from Carson Wentz getting chemistry with them. So there's a lot of shit that went down, man. There's no friends in this business, Al. I mean, unfortunately, there is. And Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie are very close friends. I think that's the only reason why that Howie Roseman has a job, man. And Peterson wasn't in that circle. He might have been close to that circle, but he wasn't in that circle.
I tend to agree with the idea that Howie and Lurie are close because I think over the years they've got that kinship. I mean, if you remember the Kelsey speech from the parade, Howie was in the doghouse and Lurie still gave him a second opportunity even after Chip Kelly. So he kind of punished him with Chip Kelly and then brought it back up. So like it's almost like a big brother, little brother mentality. Like,
well, Howie seems to always find somebody to take the rap.
Well, yeah, Chip Kelly. It seems like it's always the head coach too at this point. It's either Chip Kelly or it's Doug Peterson.
I mean, you got to go back to what we talked about last week. That bad. I'm pretty sure every single Eagles show out there, whether it's on TV, whether it's on a podcast or anything, is talking about the fact that Howie Roseman shit the bed on the draft over and over and over and still has a job.
Oh, look, I said this last week, and I'll still stick with my statement, is we have a 6th pick in the draft this year. It will be, if Howie Roseman is drafting for us, it will be the worst 6th pick in NFL history in the last 20 years.
I hope not, man.
That's a magnanimous statement.
Or it might be a stupid trade.
I mean, there's talk of them trading back.
He's going to do whatever he can to screw up the damn draft.
A lot of people always sit there and they say, a lot of people sit there and say this about the draft. Well, what about the fact that he traded traded up to get Carson Wentz, and it all looked good, and then it all fell apart. Like, there's a lot of injuries on this team. A lot of guys go down. I know they say that's part of football, but Howie seems to also find the players that just for some reason get injured. I don't know. Maybe the guy dated a girl that's in the voodoo or something, pissed her off. I don't know.
Did the Eagles back the wrong quarterback in that draft? Did the Eagles back the wrong quarterback in that draft? Jared Goff's in the playoffs. Carson Wentz is at home. Did we back the wrong quarterback?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't think so. And as far as I go with Doug, me personally, and Fred, I'm going to get to your comment here in a second. I think they should have gave him another year. Injuries, hamstrung by the cap, going into this season. You're bringing in a new coach who's already going to hamstrung by the cap.
Tom, you can't bring a guy back in that the conversation didn't go well. Obviously,
True.
the conversation didn't go well.
I don't know.
So there was probably some things that Doug Peterson was asking about and wanted and wasn't going to get, and them two probably had a heated argument, man. It probably had to be.
Lurie heard him out. He heard him out and said, "Listen, what is your plan for the future? Like, let's forget about what happened in the past. What's your plans for the future?" And he didn't like what he heard, what he had to hear. So clearly, Lurie made up his mind then and there that, okay, that's not the philosophy that I want to go with.
And I think some of the rumors that people are talking about that maybe Peterson wanted Hurts, I don't think so, because Lurie was asking for Hurts to be in there even before Peterson put him in.
Well,
so,
the thing that
I'm confused here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, the thing that I heard is Lurie wants to look to building a dynasty, and Peterson wants to win now. Like, that was the difference of opinion, is that Lurie wants to build this team up to be a dynasty, and Peterson just wants to win right now, like next season. Which, I mean, what team doesn't want to win now? That's just a ridiculous. If you're not there to play each day to win the game and to win a championship, then why suit up?
We're just part of the statistic, man. Most teams that win a Super Bowl afterwards, they have the same issues that we have.
Outside of the Patriots,
issues, man. Right? It happens.
Because you've done
and a lot of owners. A lot of ownership keep the friggin' coach because they're like, oh, we got us a Super Bowl. Well, you know what? Hey, maybe Jeffrey Lurie said, I'm not going to be a part of the statistic. I'm going to try to change this, you know?
Yeah.
Well, what I'm saying is, James, is that it's abnormal that a Super Bowl head coach would get fired so soon. You know what I'm saying? Really, think about it. He gave us our first Super Bowl, and then we just dropped him like a bad habit. You know what I mean? So, and a lot of things that did happen weren't his fault, but at this time, I think it was the play calling, man. I think it came down to that damn play calling, bro. It got annoying, man. It really did get annoying. Like, you leaving points on that field like that, and always thinking that your team can punch it in on fourth down, and then you call a stupid ass play. You know, you're going to throw it to a tight end that hasn't even had a reception all year. You're going to throw it to a tight end. Kroom. Hasn't had a reception probably all year. I don't even know where the frig he came from. Practice squad? I don't know. And that's what you go to on fourth down? That's what you go to, Doug? That was your big play call? Carson Wentz can't check down the guy after that. He throws it. Jalen Hurts did the same thing. Like, does Doug say to them, you have to throw it to that guy? I don't know. I don't know what Doug does. I can't hear Doug on the sideline. I can't hear him on the sideline. And that's another problem. You never can hear the head coach on the sideline. We just all go by what we see, what happens. Yeah. But go deeper, read between the lines. We don't know none of that shit. No one tells us anything because obviously we're nobodies, but nobody even talks about it. It's just so kept secret. It's insane.
I mean, here's the thing:
it really is bad. His play calling is horrendous.
Yeah. But Doug lost, in my mind, he lost the locker room after the Washington game. And I don't think he would have been able to bounce back even if he – well, I think if he came back next season, I don't know if he would have had the locker room at all. And that's why I feel like
He had
Special guest is in the building.
What's up, boys?
What's up?
My man.
Yeah,
Guys, it's been a long, long
Pat?
2 years. But man, I'm glad to be back with you fellas.
reunited, and it feels so good.
Yes.
I didn't
yes.
want to tell you guys. I wanted to be a little surprised to bring Pat on this week. I know. Rob's
That's a
little under
huge
the
surprise, man. Huge.
I know Rob's a little under the weather. I wanted to bring in, what person better to bring in than a former teammate of ours, Pat from Ambler. So, Pat, give us a little update, man. What have you been up to, brother?
Well, listen, you guys, all you guys know I start my own sports, but what's up, James? I love the beard. It's fitting you very well. I like it. Yes, he does. He's scaring me. You know what I mean? But listen, it's been nice that I got to start my own sports podcast, and what you guys do know. And like I told you guys many times, if you guys ever want to come to those studios, join the Devereaux Sports team for a day or so, whatever you want to do, you guys always have a seat at my table, no matter what. You guys are always welcome to join. You guys know that. But yeah, that's kind of I've been busy with that. Start with the Devereaux Sports team. Where just like you guys, Tom, I'm learning underneath your wings, Pat. I mean, everything you told me, it's been an honor to learn from you, from the best in the game, and that's pretty much all I've been up to as of late.
Nice, man. Nice. Yeah, no,
man. Nice, Pat.
Dude, so Devereaux Sports Show is on 9 a.m. Sunday mornings on the Cracked Bell Productions Network, correct?
Yes, correct, Mundo.
All right, now give me the rundown.
Can you send me that link, Pat?
I'll definitely hook you up, Bill.
Send me the link, dude, and I'll listen to it tomorrow, man, or watch it. Do you guys on video?
Yes. Yeah, we'll be on video.
Nice, yeah.
Just like you guys, it's a very hot come out. It's a very hot show. You know what I mean? It's a very hot product that's out there. We just like you fellas, just like I learned, talked all four sports. We added a little boxing, UFC for the guys who are into that kind of stuff. Nice. Pro wrestling as well. I mean, all that. Even though we get to touch on my man. Nice. Yeah, even we get to touch on my man Joe's favorite sport, soccer, some union soccer. So we get to throw that in there. I mean, everything, nothing's untouched. So, I mean, everything's in there with Philadelphia, with the Devereaux Sports crew.
Beautiful. Love it. Let me
nice.
Let me ask you the question I just asked the rest of the crew. We'll throw you right into the fire. Welcome back, Pat.
Yes. So,
I missed it. In your opinion, should Doug have been let go? Should he add another year or two? What do you think?
I mean,
I think I know how you feel from your posts, but
listen, we are just we're only 3 years away from the Super Bowl. It's not like this was just a we're 5 to 7 years away. This is only 3 years. However, though, the caveat is they did finish in last place in this division. So it's in the worst division of all time.
You were the dumbest kid in summer school this year.
Pretty much, and you failed at it. So, with that being said, though, the real issue wasn't the head coach; it was higher up. It was the tools he had to work with. I mean, he's trying to jump a car with with no jumper cables. I mean, there's wide out issues. There's offensive front issues. There's defense and secondary issues. But the guy went out, the max genius behind all this, once he had to go get himself a quarterback that. We didn't need it. Look, Jalen Hurts is a good kid. I like the kid. He's got plenty of tools. He's another mobile weapon. I like him, but he's not the piece that you need. You need everywhere else. He wasn't in a position of need. You need everywhere else. The team could have been more successful. The first round draft pick, Jalen Reagor, only had one TD this year. I mean, regardless, he was somewhat banged up this year. But he wasn't grabbing you by the crotch. I mean, there was a couple guys in that draft that you could have went for and would have been better. You've seen the CD Lambs, the Justin Jeffersons. I mean, those guys were there, and the board was telling you they're more NFL ready than this kid was. So I mean, again, Howie goes out shopping. The guys at Community College of Philadelphia, Wyoming. He goes in the back of a Burger King and grabs guys out there. I mean, whatever he can do to get this team, he thinks that he's smarter than you, and which
hopefully
he
they
thinks
don't
he's.
go to my Burger King to get guys because that's not working out very well over there.
And I'm a community college of Philadelphia graduate, Pat. So let's.
Sorry, Hammer. I didn't mean to. Sorry, Hammer. I didn't mean to take a shot. I mean, I love the Hammer.
Guys,
I think like Kelsey said in his speech when we won the Super Bowl, it's the whole damn team.
It is the whole damn team.
It is.
Everybody's got to be accountable, man.
Check this out.
Everybody's got to be accountable.
Hold on one sec, Pat. I want to throw this up here real quick. Hello from Stockholm, Sweden. So we have Michael from Stockholm, Sweden, checking in on the show today. Thank you, Michael, for checking in. I still don't understand why Foles left. Was it a trade and did the Eagles get something back? Mike,
No.
Thank you for the question. No, they did not get anything back. They let him
walk.
Let him walk. Yeah. Freddie Burns checking in. Hurts looked like Taysom Hill by the end, and it's not his fault either. And that's right, Fred. I don't think anybody behind center for this team would have had any large amount of success. I think that any quarterback you put behind an offensive line that had 14 different starting lineups in a single season isn't going to have large amounts of success. I don't care what quarterback it is. And you guys know me. I'm usually I try to ride the fence a lot of times, but nobody's going to change my mind on that O-line. That O-line was decimated almost from day one. Pretty much from day one. Brandon Brooks didn't start the beginning of the season. So it was just decimated.
And there was no recovery. And there's no depth.
Darius Slay's not a shutdown corner. Darius Slay's not no shutdown corner.
And if I could add too, I mean,
no,
he's
lost a lot of games because of that number one wideout.
Right, and they were saying he's big play Slay, and he wasn't making big plays. I mean, this is like you said, Bill. This hurt us. This was hurting us. And you know what? Like I've heard a lot of people take shots with the quarterback. It's all Carson. Carson could not trust his offensive line from snap to snap. I mean, 1 minute he's got 2 seconds to get rid of the ball. He couldn't read the defense that was in front of him. I mean, that's why he was. Look, I can't say that there was open guys down the field and him throwing picks a lot. I mean, that comes back on him. But like I said, again, that offensive line, he just couldn't trust it. It was banged up. It was all, again, another position of need that Howie is responsible for. This all comes back to Howie, in my opinion.
Oh, we got a couple of good check-ins on the text board here. Will, first let's go with our buddy Jesse Bell. Flyers 2-0 over the Shitbirds. Let's go. I hear you, Jesse.
Yes.
We're going to be getting into some Flyers.
Yeah, the Flyers look great.
I got my man Pat on here. We're talking puck. But let me
yes.
We got Philly sports fan. Do you think Wentz could still be the starter depending on our new head coach? Yes, I do.
I think Wentz is your starter. I
firmly believe that Jeffrey Lurie picked Wentz over Doug.
I think Wentz is going to have an intricate role on who comes to coach here next.
I agree.
I think he's going to pick and choose who he feels comfortable with, and that's who Lurie is going to hire.
I don't disagree.
That's where, Joey, that's where you put your money. You put your money on that guy being your quarterback. So why wouldn't he be your quarterback? Because of one bad season? How many freaking great quarterbacks out there have had a bad season? A lot.
Many.
A lot.
And look,
seriously. This ain't the first time it's happened in the NFL.
We have a Weasel checking in. We have a Weasel.
Oh, right.
Not your Weasel.
I like it.
Not your Weasel.
And not the Weasel that Voracek called out last night.
So we have a Facebook user who still refuses to put his or her name and face with his post, but I know who this is, and he writes, Cowboys with a banged-up line as well, 4 starters out the entire season, and 4 different quarterbacks.
I already know who that is.
What's up?
I spot the Weasel immediately. I'm reading it now. I know who it is. I think
he's right. He's right. Yo,
He's not wrong.
He's right. We suck.
I believe.
He's right. He's absolutely right. What's the argument? There is no argument.
There is no argument.
We absolutely suck. We messed up on the draft as usual. Okay, our head coach is bad with play calling. He loves to go for it on fourth down. He loves it to go for it on two-point conversions and leave points out on the field instead of kicking a damn extra point. I mean, come on, bro. That's all you're going to say. You can say way more than that.
Here you go, Pat. Take a look at the screen.
I rarely give
that, dude. You knew it was.
Oh no! I knew that was that fraud. That fraud. I knew.
Yo,
hey, that's my weasel.
Paul, stop trolling me. Stop trolling me, Paul.
And Joey says, "Stop trolling them, Paul."
You know what's crazy? I never get into talking trash on other teams because I am an NFL fan at heart. You know what I mean? And the Birds are my number one team. But I love everything, dude. And I could sit there and I could talk about other teams and everything.
Your point.
But
he wrote, we all suck this year.
Yeah. Well, no, you guys would have won the division. Wait a minute. You guys would have won the division, Paul, if Prescott didn't break his ankle. Prescott was on pace to throw for over 6,000 yards.
Yeah. Let's be clear. I hate giving a Cowboys
quarterback, which is a star quarterback, broke his ankle.
I hate giving any Cowboys any credit whatsoever, but I will give them one piece of credit in this. They know how to draft because Jalen Smith, the Van Der Esch,
CD Lamb.
Marcus Lawrence.
Definitely draft
CD
well.
Lamb.
Yes.
But look,
Gallup's good. I don't know where they drafted him, but Gallup's good. Dude, they got a squad there. So I'm not going to sit there and
gets all the respect.
They're a bad team.
Notice my buddy Cowboy Dave, who lives out here in Delco with me. However, we're not going to turn this into a Cowboys program.
No, we are not.
No. Give Paul no airtime.
We all suck.
Right now.
Suck.
What's that?
Can you quote Rob Ellis for me right now? Let's get it back to the Eagles.
Let's get it back to the Eagles.
So, Al saying that 6-10 is nothing to brag about. You're absolutely straight up. You know, everybody who we're talking here, the Birds stunk this year, straight up. Whether it was because of injuries, whether it was because of Carson, whether it was because of coaching, whether it was because of drafting, the Eagles stunk this year.
Yes,
and that's you have to resign yourself to the fact that
you know what. Tom, if I could speak real fast. You know what? It's crazy. I told you that we brought Mike Rickenbach onto the program, and it's just amazing to get his eyes on from a decent from a player, and he was telling us look, he even called it himself. He said Dougie's playbook is very vanilla. He tries to get creative on 4th and 2, try to have 8 down the field and make some big, Hail Mary play. Just move the chains. Move the chains. That's all you have to do. You got one of the top premier running backs in the league. Use them. That's what he's there for. Move the chains just a little bit. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's just like I said. I mean, look, like you guys were all talking about, it's a team effort of failing. I mean, from the coaching, from the GM, from the quarterback play, from guys are not getting on the same page. Like we've seen a lot this year. Zach Ertz and Carson Wentz, who we thought were going to be the security blanket on the offensive side of the ball, we're not on the same page this year, and that's it speaks volumes. So I mean, again, it's this team needs to make a big change. And to me, like I said, I'm always going to be hailing Howie because I hold him at the top for all this mess at the top of this.
Would any of you bring back?
You need that offensive line. You need that.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, Joe. You're right, Bill. You need that offensive line because, like I said, they were banged up. I mean, how many times Lane Johnson went down this year? How many times Jason? Jason Kelly was pretty much the only sole survivor left of that offensive line. Jason Pierce stole your bank account. You know what I mean?
Right. Crossing routes take time to develop sometimes for a guy to get open.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're calling those crossing routes, if the quarterback doesn't have time to throw the football, then no one's open on a crossing route if you're going against that defense the way they're setting it up right. So all you got to do is do a zone over the middle that stops the crossing route for the middle. Then by the time the guy gets across that, the quarterback's either sacked or he had to throw it away or he had to force a pass. And that's how teams beat the Eagles this year. They just consistently got to wins, got to Hurts. Look at Hurts. He took
would you
tons of
guys
sacks, and he's faster than Carson Wentz, and he could get it outside the pocket faster than Carson Wentz. It didn't matter, man. It didn't matter. The offensive line was atrocious. Was bad. Was really, really bad. Atrocious.
Would you guys bring back Zach Ertz?
No, not for the money.
No,
Yes,
I mean,
I would. I'd bring them back.
Dallas,
I-
You might not be able to. Tommy's right. You might not be able to, Joey. You might not be able to.
yeah.
you know what?
Sour cap issues are sour cap issues.
Yeah, the cap's already this year. So you're going to have to make room, and he knows he's not coming back because he's the first person they're going to use to make room.
What's that?
For that salary cap. Oh, and
where do you think
way,
Zach Ertz goes? That's the question. Where do you think Zach Ertz goes?
I'm not sure, but real quick, Paul Spencer does check in and say, Tommy, but we do agree. Go Notre Dame. Great show, guys. Thank you, Paul. Go Irish. But as far as Ertz, where does he go? I mean, that's
hard to say right now.
Anywhere. What if he ends up in Jacksonville with possibly Trevor Lawrence?
He's going to no. But see, that's the problem, Tom. Hot free agent. He's considered a hot free agent. We're letting him go. You see the problem there? He's going to be considered a hot free agent. There's teams that are looking their chops, waiting for that.
Yeah, well, you're not. What do you? I mean, you're not going to be able to get a trade or anything.
Once again,
because teams know.
But once again, you got to let go of Harton. This is bad front office. Once again, you got to let go of a star that you developed over the years, just like Brian Dawkins went, just like Jeremiah Trotter went. We consistently have to let go of our stars, man. And it's the way this organization is ran. They cannot. Brandon Graham, you held on to for all these years, but one Pro Bowl. I mean, let's be real, man. Let's really be real. Let's be honest. I love Brandon Graham, I do, and he's worked his ass off to get to where he is. But now, one of those things is, can you afford him now? You see what I'm saying? Why does this always happen? Whoa. Oh, thanks, Joey.
Whoa!
Thank you. He didn't say it. He wrote it. It's fine.
We lost Pat. I don't know where.
It's not fair, man. Tom, it's not fair, Tom. It really isn't, man. And it's going to happen again, Joey. You see it already coming, right? It's going to happen again. Another star is going to be let go. We know Ertz is first, but what's that? It might be Wentz. It might be Wentz if they figure out some kind of restructuring the contract thing. Then that's another star. You traded away tons of picks to get Carson Wentz and ruined your draft 2 years in advance. Ruined your draft 2 years in advance. Howie Roseman still has a job.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying.
I think Lord needs to say straight out, keep Ertz. I don't care what you got to do, keep him.
What was that, James?
You know what? If you get rid of Ertz, you got to get rid of more.
No, I said basically, if you want to fire everybody, you got to fire the whole damn fucking team. You got to fire Howie. You got to fire the whole shit show. You know?
Wow,
dude, James,
that bomb is back.
Oh my God,
James, you can't fire everybody, James. You cannot fire everybody.
There's a guy who
never own a company. Never own a company.
Now, what did he ever do to you?
Good God. The Water Boy's shitting the bed right now. It's like, oh my God.
How he's going in there. If Jeffrey Lawyer hires James as the GM, James is walking up to stand 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 7. Like, you're out of here. You're out of here.
You're all fired.
Before he even hits the field, he has all new concessions.
Get people coffee. The coffee guy's fired. The concession people are fired.
Yeah.
Everybody's fired.
Fired. Everybody.
We're bringing in new talent. He's
going to do a Jack Nicholson. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. I'm not out of order. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So, let's
But if you're going to fire Doug, you're going to fire Howie too.
Agreed.
It doesn't. It's just. It becomes more and more obvious every year that the only reason Howie is here is because
I think they should
relationship with Lori. It's becoming
They
more
should
obvious.
have fired Howie though instead of Doug. I do agree.
Lori's
I would have been
probably
fine
like a
with
son to
keeping
him.
Doug.
Like, he don't want to fire his son.
They should have had Joe Douglas stay here and move Howie into a different role.
Yes, absolutely.
Definitely,
Joe Douglas
definitely.
is one of the big reasons that you know making moves. You were able to do what you did for the Super Bowl.
It was the reason why you
What
got.
about you guys?
Something. There you go, James. You're getting some love out there. James is on to something. Fire every-
Al said clean. Al already said clean house. Al already said clean house.
James is firing people that aren't even on the team anymore. He's firing Seth Joyner and Vince Papali. He don't care. He wants anybody affiliated.
He's wiping them all out. He's like, go.
James will walk in there, fire everybody, and then fire himself. No, James, you wouldn't do that, James. You'd fire everybody, and then you would fire yourself. And you'd be like, all right, guys, see you later. I cleaned house. Now go
Freddie
find a
Burns
new
is
GM
calling you out, Joe. Hurts or Wentz.
Hurts or Wentz?
Straight up. Freddie Burns calling you out. If it was up to James, they'd both be fired, but it's up to you.
Hurts
or Wentz?
Freddie Burns.
Wentz is my $100 million man.
Not
you don't have to agree with me. Look, I'm just a messenger.
Wentz is my $100 million man. I'd be a fool if I said you have to start Hurts over the $100 million man. So I'm going to go with the man that's making more money. Maybe not the guy that's got more talent, but the guy that's got more money.
There's tons of fools out there that say that Hurts should be the starting quarterback. So
But you're going to sit a $100 million quarterback. You're going to sit a $100 million quarterback. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
I agree with. I actually agree with you, Joey. Wentz is definitely your starting quarterback. But the problem is this fan base as a whole is it's up in the air, man. It really is. It's up in the air with their feelings. A lot of people are sold on Hurts. A lot. I'm not. I don't think he's ready. I think he has another
Fred
year
wants
to
me
be a backup quarterback.
Fred, you're baiting me, and I'm not going to fall for it. Because I said that on draft night that Jalen Hurts was a good quarterback for this franchise. I again say Wentz is your $100 million man, but I think Hurts has more talent than Wentz.
Horrible draft pick. Horrible draft pick. You didn't need to draft Jalen Hurts. You'd have been 4-11-1 no matter what.
Just remember,
draft pick. Horrible.
You have to draft
absolutely horrible.
Just remember, Wentz and Hurts had the same amount of victories this year.
Freaking TV when we drafted Jalen Hurts. Waste.
Just remember, they have the same amount of victories this year.
What?
So they have 2 victories apiece.
No, they don't. Oh, Wentz and what? Wentz
and Hurts.
No, Wentz has 3, don't he?
No. 4-11-1.
Wentz has 3 victories.
No, he doesn't.
Wentz has 3 victories this year.
Yeah, Hurts only beat
Jalen Hurts has 1.
Hurts only beat the Saints.
Yeah, that's it. Sorry, man.
Yeah, Hurts didn't really line it up. I mean,
you got tissues. It's it doesn't really matter, man. I feel the same way, Joey. It looked like Wentz didn't even win the game this year, so I got what you're saying. It was a big year.
And I don't disagree that they should have gotten something that was more priority, but Jalen Hurts is in a bad
Freddie
player.
Burns is
look,
you're absolutely right, Freddie Burns.
So here's looking at it. Here's what I feel like they looked at. The reason he was drafted there, he was still there, and they know that Carson's injury prone. But they know there's a gobbler's back.
Because we're a quarterback factory.
Hey, I'm sorry, I had to get
We're a quarterback factory, Tom. Tom, he should have been fired when he said that. We're a quarterback
factory.
We're a quarterback factory.
Freddie Burns is right.
So
he
in
said,
that case, quarterback factory, Jalen Hurts
Actually,
is out of here.
Will,
trade him.
It's interesting.
For him. You're a quarterback factory. No, wait a minute. Put your money where your mouth is, Howie. Put your money where your mouth is. Trade Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Trade him.
I love it.
Man.
Trade him.
So,
Get
Will,
him out of
sports
here.
bet.
Get him out of here.
Will, interesting that you bring that
Willie
up.
Guns is fired up to say
I
the
love
least.
it.
Freddie
He's
Bird
got
said
passion.
with that second pick, it would have been nice if the Eagles drafted, I don't know, an interior lineman, a
Yeah.
wide receiver, a cornerback, or just about anything besides a quarterback in the second round. You literally could have drafted a new beer guy for the 100 level, and it would have been a better pick than Jalen Hurts.
I-
Don't disagree,
I
but
like
they
how he
could have
took
got a
interior
worse
lineman.
quarterback. That's my point. If they were going to draft a quarterback at that point,
You shouldn't have drafted a quarterback.
no, I
at
know
all.
that they shouldn't have drafted a quarterback, but they did. So I'm saying that at least that pick for a quarterback was at least a talented quarterback. He had 100 touchdowns in his collegiate career. At least
Really?
it was a talented quarterback.
Really?
Yeah, but Joe,
Wait.
Yeah,
How do
Bill,
you
yeah,
know?
Bill.
How does anybody know what talent Jalen Hurts has? His
'Cause he
stats don't
play-
show it.
His
Oh, man,
college
let's be
career does.
real. Let's
college
be
stats
real.
His college career stats show it.
Yeah, Tim
Yeah,
Tebow.
but-
Tim Tebow had a great college career. Look where he ended up. Come on, man.
This is true.
Yeah.
All right,
Really?
Tim,
They give you
Let's
an
be
example.
real here. Let's be.
Yeah.
Look, wait.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
because you resemble
From the
Tim
Irish
Tebow
guy.
doesn't mean a damn thing.
Brady Quinn from the Irish had great college stats
Where's
too.
Bobby?
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
but the Tim
Joey, let's
Tebow.
go Eagles
Wait a minute.
quarterbacks. Where's Bobby Hoying? Where's
Tim-
Bobby Hoying at? Where's
Wait a
Bobby
minute.
Go
Hoying
back.
at?
Kerry
Tim
Collins.
Tebow.
Kerry
Thank you.
Collins.
Tim Tebow.
Collins.
Look at the quarterback room that Tim Tebow was a part of. Garbage. Look at the kind of quarterback room that any of these other quarterbacks that you're mentioning were a part of. Garbage. Look at the quarterback rooms that Hurts was in both Bama and Oklahoma. Awesome. Kyler Murray. Tua. Tua.
That guy. I couldn't say
Look,
it.
I'm not saying that. Listen, I'm not saying Jalen Hurts isn't a future starter in the NFL, but he ain't
Can I
a
say
starter
something?
now. He
Can I say
ain't
something?
a starter now.
Yo, let Pat.
Yeah, no, I just feel like that within the 3 games they figure out who Jalen Hurts was. You know what I mean? He looked great in the first 2 games, but the Cowboys, figured him out, and he looked like Carson Wentz from 2017 to 2020, all within 3 games. I mean, he looks like he got figured out real fast.
A shitbag Cowboys defense figured out Jalen Hurts.
That fast, right? I mean, Bill.
Yeah, thank you.
It happened that fast. I mean, they figured out this kid quickly. I mean, I don't know how much longer. I mean, yeah, he's got weapons, he's got legs, but again, one thing about the NFL, nothing never changes, is the play of a pocket passer. It's always going to be back to a pocket passer. And can he be sustained?
I think he's got mad talent for a future starter in the NFL, but not right now. Not right now, man. Not even next year. He's not ready. He's not ready. That's the thing. He's just not ready. And to sit there, Carson Wentz has been ready. Carson Wentz had a rough year with the offensive line, with young wide receivers, with you should have drafted Justin Jefferson instead of Jalen Reagor. Then when you did draft Reagor got injured. Zach Ertz was in his head about contract situations, about leaving here. You know what I'm saying? So you had a lot of shit going on, man. And you had Darius Big Play Slay that turned out to not be a big play Slay.
You're right.
Your defense sucked. Your linebackers are – you drafted Davion Taylor in the 3rd round. Howie and Doug Peterson never put him on the field as a starter. 3rd round draft pick for a linebacker, dude. He's got to be on the field.
All right.
Be on the field, man.
Let's try
That's
to
a
keep
lot
it
of money
moving.
you got sitting on the bench.
We got a lot to get to today. We're already 45 minutes in, yelling at Don.
Sixers or Flyers? What are we doing? Sixers or Flyers? Which one?
Right now, we're still with the Eagles. I wanted to get all right. So with the coaching candidates that are left, where do you see not what person do you like, but where do you see the Eagles going? I see the Eagles going in-house with Deuce. I just got that feeling in my gut. I'm not saying that's what I would do, but you got the Bills OC, Brian Dable, Cowboys OC, Kellen Moore, and the Chiefs OC, Eric Bieniemy are probably, and Deuce are your 4 main candidates.
Yeah.
And they just came out with a report that the defensive coordinator for the Rams.
I did see that. I saw that report this morning.
Yeah.
What do you think they're going to do?
I think. I mean, look,
Deuce were calling for him last week.
My opinion, they are pushing for Deuce. I mean, you see him with Malcolm Jenkins coming out on social media saying that he's a guy he would play for. So he's trying to push him to get the job. He's a coach that people like to play for. Again, you're getting yourself a Dougie P kind of guy.
Exactly.
Yeah, guys like you guys like to play for him. Yeah, but he'll be another yes man. Whatever you want to do.
That's my biggest fear, Pat. That my biggest fear is they're going to promote Deuce into the head coach role. And if you think that Doug didn't have his hands on everything that was going on, Deuce's hands will be tied even tighter than Doug's was.
What? Right. And the fact that, you know, what I mean, I'm sorry, but it's not grinding by my chest here about Deuce. I mean, his rotations of running back was scratching my head now whether Doug had a say in that or not. But again, what's he done to solidify you for this job other than the guys want to play for him? I think he deserves
I think he deserves a shot, though, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I think he's put a lot of hard work into this organization, and I think it looks good for the organization as a whole to sit there and give Deuce, like a guy like Deuce, a chance like that. I think that's huge, man. I think if he's not your head coach, a coordinator, an offensive coordinator maybe. But I don't know what Deuce does as far as when it comes down to that. See, that's the thing. I know him as a running backs coach. I don't know him as anything else.
Right. And
but the thing is, Pat, is he a running backs coach for years? Like, is that always ever going to be in the NFL?
Right. You know what I mean? Right. I mean, is there your best candidate, Kenny, is the offensive coordinator from the Chiefs. I mean, what I've seen.
But he must be ready. He must be ready if he's taking the interview, though. He must have some kind of plan. He must have learned a lot from Dougie P. Dougie P's still a winning Super Bowl coach. You know what I mean?
Well,
and Frank Reich was there when Deuce was there, so Deuce knows a lot from Frank Reich. You don't know. He might bring that in. That's what he
Keep in mind that Deuce was also a player under Andy Reid. So he's got tutelage from both Andy's playbook and from Doug's playbook. So keep that in mind, too. But if you want to convert this team
and I
quickly,
think he's going to be different.
He's got this. I said this last week. This team needs to have an identity. And if Deuce is your head coach, this will become a running team. And I think that might play to the strength of the inadequate offensive line. So that might actually work in their favor. But I kind of agree with Pat. I'm leaning more to Eric Danny because I feel like he is a juggernaut when it comes down to developing quarterbacks. And if you're putting your money on the quarterback, then you need to have a coach that can develop that quarterback to his highest potential.
Yeah, and you need a quarterback to be you need a coach to be hard on Carson. Last year was a free-for-all. No one's really hard on him. I mean, you've seen it in his play. I mean, okay, he throws another interception. Okay, live to fight another day, I guess. But, I mean, you need somebody to be in his grill to let him know, no, dude, you can't be doing that. Like, you need someone tough on this kid. I mean, he looked like he belonged in this crappy division. They're like you guys were talking about earlier. There was no Dak Prescott. There was no Saquon Barkley. This should be a day at the beach for us to take over this division with Carson Wentz. You know what I mean? With Carson Wentz at the helm. But you know what I mean? Again,
Pat, Well, what I think is I think that they're giving Carson Wentz a get-out-of-jail-free card. That's what they're doing. They're coughing up the offensive line issues, the young wide receivers issues, the bad play calling by Doug, because obviously you fired him. You fired Doug, so they're blaming something on Doug. So I think that when it comes down to it, they're going to get a head coach that is ready to play call better, that's ready to hand the football off, because Wentz needs the football to be in the running back's hands so that he can get that play action going. So he can slight RPO action.
Yes,
you had nothing with Doug's play calling. Doug's play calling was horrendous for Carson Wentz. It was not good fit for him.
So I have a question. As
it would have continued that too. It would have continued that.
As the roster is currently constructed, the new coach that comes in, is this is this team broken for this new coach, or does he have to fix everything, or does he have to fix a couple things?
Team's broken. Team's broken.
Right. Right. I'm with Will. The team is broken. You got to gain game. I mean, the whole from ownership to the Cowboy. This franchise looks like it's broken. There's no leadership. I mean, the city has completely lost faith in you. I mean, you got to gain your trust with the fans back. I mean, granted, we all bleed green, and this is our number one go-to sport. But however, you're showing us fandoms. You don't even have a sense of direction. Where you want to do next? I mean, and like I said, it all goes back to Howie. Howie wants the best position available. He doesn't want to go for position of need. He wants to show that he can outsmart the analytics by taking a guy out of Wyoming or taking a guy out of Sacramento, California, or Alaska. I mean, something like that. I mean, he was
smartest guy in the room syndrome.
Yeah, pretty much. And it turns out he's an idiot in the room. So that's what it comes down to.
He should be in the corner with a dunce cap
it
on.
doesn't look like Jeffrey Lurie. It doesn't look like Jeffrey Lurie at all went to Howie and said that your job's on the line at all. It just basically made Howie
like
feel
that
safe
for years.
after your track record with the draft.
Yeah.
With that track record on the draft, you're never on the hot seat, Howie.
Yo,
this is ridiculous.
Will, it had this kind of feel to it.
DK Metcalf, Justin Jefferson, Earl Thomas.
Come on.
It had this kind of feel to it. It had the feel of when we were younger, Will, we'd always be like, yo, if I get a lot of money, I'm bringing all my boys with me. Yo, if I get a lot of money, I'm starting my business. My boys are going to work with me the whole time. It feels like Jeffrey was like, when they were younger, he went to Howie and was like, yo, man, if we make it big, I'm going to take care of you no matter what. That's what it feels like because the guy should be gone.
Yeah, that's what it feels like, man.
I want to make a transition here real quick. Let's but
why does Jeffrey let him draft? Why won't Jeffrey give it to his head coach? The guy that has
maybe he doesn't have that kind of confidence.
Put a good team out on the field. It's not right. Howie Roseman has no business drafting. Let him do contracts. Let him do contracts. Let the draft go to the Eagles head coach.
I'm gonna move away from the birds.
Okay.
We'll save those questions for next week. I'd like to transition into something a little bit better than a little bit better than the people's talk we've been talking about right now, right? All right. The Philadelphia Flyers are perfect so far this season, sitting at 2-0, smacking around one of our biggest rivals, one of the biggest rivalries in this team's history. Flyers Bengals. We got Pat Bernard on the show. I know everybody that's sitting here right now are diehard, huge Flyers fans. The Flyers are off to at least 2-0. My namesake TK with the hat trick last night. Sorry, young buck. But we'll go with that. I feel TK is going to have his best year by far this year. He's primed and ready, possibly an MVP run. Anybody have thoughts on that?
I know. I agree with you. He's the best talent on the ice. By far. I mean, he showed you last year. That's why he went to the All-Star game. He's shown you on both sides. He can play defense. He can play offense. He knows where to get in his position and get ready to snipe that puck. The only problem I saw out last night, again, it was during the second period. It was kind of that playoff thing. They got hot to a hot start, and then they took the foot off the gas pedal. I mean, they were giving up picks left and right. They were giving up. It was sloppy hockey. And then they pulled this miracle, goal out of their keisters, and that's what led to a great, hat trick. But as again, the team is worried. I have worried for the team because I don't see the same thunder, that I saw, during the regular season and the round robin last year. I see the same playoff team that I saw last year. Where they kind of rely on Carter Hart to bail them out at every game. And you cannot do that. Carter Hart can only be Carter Hart for so long. That's why I need more. I need these guys to keep on attacking the net, keep on attacking the offensive zone. You get the rebounds.
Don't you have 11 goals in your first 2 games, Pat? How much more can you ask out of these guys?
Wait a minute. The hammer's about to drop on Pat right now.
No, that come on.
About to drop on Pat right now. How dare you?
That goal
sir?
that Sidney Crosby got, though.
That was
How
disgusting.
I'm sorry,
dare
but that
you,
goal
sir?
that Sidney Crosby got in that first game to knock that down, turn around real quickly, and knock it down. That's what it takes to score on Carter Hart. That's what it takes to score on Carter Hart.
Hang on. The hammer's about to drop on Pat.
Yes.
This team is so deep that you have goals not from just the first line, not just from the second line, not just from the third line, not just from the fourth line, but from all 4 lines. You have a deep team that when you go into a playoff run, teams aren't going to know what to game plan for because they don't know what overload. They don't know what lines overload on their team to come back. You have a guy like Carter Hart that is a young stud goaltender that is ready for almost anything. He is an award. He's going to be he is an award-winning goaltender, and he will be an NHL award-winning goaltender by the end of it. And I will tell you this right now: this team.
But Joey, he's not. Yeah, but I agree with Pat saying you can't rely on just Carter Hart though. You get what I'm saying?
Right, but if you're scoring goals,
but if you're scoring,
no. Wait a second. But if the most amount of goals,
it's the NHL, you can't average 5 goals a game. You can't average.
If the most amount of goals.
I didn't see. What did that say, Pat?
Drew sucks. That's what comes back to.
Pat.
Drew sucks.
What did that say?
Oh my God!
Well, that's it. Don't get me started, Pat. Don't get me started on that.
Conversation.
Don't get me started on that. I'm trying not to get fired up right now. Don't do that.
You gotta be honest with yourself, Joe. I mean, look, they got the coach, they got the goaltender, but they still got the core of the team that only knows how to hover around the 8th seed. The 2 guys are making those.
Caruso on the second line, Pat. What do you want him to do?
He's supposed to be the leader. Him and that overpaying Shrek's brother, Voracek. Those 2 make the most money, and they've yet to give you any kind of Crosby is always going to get his. Steven Stamkos is always going to get his. Ovechkin is always going to get his. Patrick Kane's always going. Those guys show up and light up the lamp. Those 2 other guys, when they get into the playoffs, they only know how to be eliminated. They're already thinking about going on their next fishing trip. They don't know how to get.
Why I'm okay with this team, because the team doesn't have to rely on them. Yeah, the team goes on with Lindblom, with Raffle, with these guys that aren't household names. Because my feeling
happy that we're 2-0. Relax. Are we happy?
No, I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled.
We just beat the Penguins twice. We just beat the Penguins
we're in
twice.
the same place where we were last year, and I disagree.
For the next game. Let's go.
Yeah. My problem is the only thing I got a problem with AV is, and there's nothing against him, is the East is loaded with good head coaches, from Mike Sullivan, from Joe Quenneville, from Barry Trotz. Those guys know how to win in this league too. So that's it's kind of like the Doc Rivers situation with the East. But however, the other teams in the East, that's another conversation. But the NHL teams, the Penguins might look like they took a step back, but Crosby's still there. I mean, there's some concerns with this Flyers team moving forward, and lackluster them taking the foot off off the gas pedal in the second period. Yeah, Bill.
He's got a point there. We were turning that puck over too much, man, in our own zone too. Like there was that one play where the guy just mishandled it, left it at the top of the blue line. Pittsburgh came right in and scored. It was just such a simple. And then there was another play where Provorov just was in the zone, holding the puck, didn't know what to do with it, wasted a whole line one shift, and then just iced it.
Well,
come on, you do have problems because even the players are talking about it. You do have problems.
Look,
Pittsburgh
I mean, Drew
did not look good for those 2 games.
No, and you're right. No, because the team has, you seen it. Drew, I mean, Voracek's getting, he's flipping out on the media. He's also reading the post that came out about him that AV wants him to earn his ice time instead of playing for his money. I mean, there's so many things going on with this team behind the stage, and you brought up a good point that Ivan Provorov. To me, I always draw the parallel between him and Ben Simmons. People go, why? Because Ben Simmons can do everything well besides shoot the ball. He can take the ball to the rim. He can dish out the great passes. Ivan Provorov does the same thing. He can he's a great sniper. He can shoot the puck well. He knows how he'll find a guy open on the pass, but he can't play defense. To me, this dude can't play defense to save himself. Horrible at it.
He's not that good of a defender. He really isn't.
No.
Yeah,
he's better. He's the opposite of it.
But
Coots going down.
I think that the younger talent though on this team can carry this team.
Yeah, and that's what it's about. It's the fighting days, the fall brawl days are over. I mean, once you moved on from Wayne Simmons, that was your biggest upside because
I think that the younger talent. Yeah,
the younger talent is good, but once you moved on from Wayne Simmons,
the younger talent can carry this team.
Yeah, I agree. I think that once you moved on from Wayne Simmons,
thing, though, Pat. That was a good thing.
Yeah, it was. Moving on from Wayne Simmons was the best thing for this team because you're showing the team you don't want to brawl no more. You're about the skill now. You want to bring up the and kudos to Ron Hextall for bringing up for signing all these young guys, signing Carter Hart, picking these guys in the draft. Now Chuck Fletcher's job is to bring them up here as ASAP. And if I see Gostisbehere touch the ice one time, I'm out. I'm out on the season. I caught myself, Tom Kelly. I'm out on the season.
I didn't even have to say anything, Pat. I appreciate you a lot.
No,
I thought you were already out, Pat.
If Coots is down for any period of time, is that going to affect the chemistry of the team?
The most underrated athlete in Philadelphia sports, Coots. I mean, that's my opinion anyway. He showed
the All-Star game last year.
Yeah. He should have been in the All-Star. He should have been in the All-Star game 2 years ago. I've had on with Bill. I had Bill Meltzer on, and me and him agree that this kid can play. I mean, he's overlooked, and I don't know why. I mean, he should have been in the All-Star game 2 years ago. Somehow they picked Drew over him.
I think what they look at is the fact that he didn't do it right away. He's one of those NHL players that consistently will play great, shut down number one players. He's really good at doing that. He's had great games against Ovechkin, Malkin.
He just got the Selke.
The guy defends well. He's a defensive forward first.
Yeah,
but he's hell of an offensive player too. He's a captain. He's a captain.
Right.
That's what he is.
He got the Selke award for the best two player in the game last year. This past. I mean, so he's showing you. Dead.
Right. He's he was weak when he came into the league because he had mono. Mm-hmm. So when he first came into the league, he had all the hockey sense. He had all the skills. He used to be very, very fit and physical. He had to work to get all that back. Okay, and now this happening to him. I hope he's all right. I hope he stays healthy. But the thing is how much longer can he keep on playing the way he plays? Certain players can stick around because they don't give it their all. Only time they give it their all is when they have an open shot or when they have a breakaway. This guy throws his body around like crazy, dude.
I completely agree with you. Like, you could take an example of a Chase Utley from baseball who gave it his all every game, but that's not the same type of game as hockey. Hockey, where you're out there giving it your all every day, every night, you're going to wear down. And it takes a special kind of freak to have longevity playing that style of hockey.
Yeah, your body takes more punishment in hockey than it does in baseball.
You would know.
Yeah, I would know. That's why I'm saying it.
I've introduced your face to the board more than once in our illustrious career.
The ideal shift in hockey to take care of your players is 30 to 40 seconds maybe? Yeah. 30 to 40 seconds as a long
45 is a long shift. You know what I'm saying?
That's tough. And when you start going over that, which Coots does do,
Yeah.
That's tough, man. That guy's a
Right.
warrior, but he's going to
Coots-
have to learn how to tone it down a little bit. He's got young talent coming up. He
Coots
can't
had
always
a
keep
couple of-
playing the way he plays if he wants to last in
Coots
this league.
Had Coots and Couturier led the team in shift time last year. I think both of them were over a minute.
Hey,
So
James.
they would be on the ice for over a minute at stints of time.
Hey, James. You're a bigger Flyer fan.
They play hard, man. They play hard.
What? How are you feeling so far? It's only 2 games, I understand. How you feeling about the 2021 season thus far?
I mean, it's a good
Can you
start.
hear us?
I mean, you've been playing very well, and it's been like they've been fun to watch. I mean, the last few games, I mean, the second and third year pros like Konechny and Farabee have been really good. I mean, that's the thing. Once you get that goaltender right, everything falls into place, and that's been the key for so long. Like we haven't had a goaltender in so long, and God knows when. And I think now you got that goaltender situation under control. Now you got the scoring, and AV reminds me so much what Peter Laviolette used to do back in the day. Was just a crest every single time and have like a lot of composure. And I see this team basically down the road like be a very scary team like come playoff time. And I'm just enjoying the ride, Tommy, and I enjoy every minute of it.
I love it. I know, like I said, I'm in a room right now with giant Flyers fans, so that's why I get excited to talk this stuff.
Yes.
All right, Pat, I want to start with you because you kind of
exciting.
some things you were saying made me think of this question. Can this team make a deep run as currently constructed and as they're playing currently?
I'm going to be honest. I don't think so. I think that, with Montreal, they step up. I think that, the Islanders are a team to look out for. They're a team up and coming. I think the Flyers are, again, a second-round knockout, second and third-round knockout. I mean, I just don't see. I mean, we get overhyped. I think Giroux does what he normally does.
They're going to be a scary.
So, Pat,
Yes,
so Action Sports Odds begs to differ. There is only 5 teams currently that are picked to have better Stanley Cup odds than the Philadelphia Flyers. The Avalanche are 1 at plus 650. The Lightning are 2 at plus 750. The Vegas Golden Knights at plus 900. Maple Leafs at plus 1500. Bruins at plus 1500. And then your Philadelphia Flyers at plus 1600. So they're the 6th as odds makers are seeing it.
Wow.
The 6th most likely team to win the Stanley Cup this year.
Flyers are ahead of the Maple Leafs by far. I don't care what if that.
I was going to agree with that. Yeah, Maple Leafs. I mean, the Flyers could beat the Maple Leafs and the Bruins. They've already proven that.
Yes. They any day of the week. Those two. They just lost probably their best veteran player on that team, and he's going to finish out his career and with the Capitals. But again, I think the Flyers are better, head and shoulders better than Toronto and Boston. It's just the Islanders.
Well, I think the Flyers.
I think we're right there.
The Flyers struggle against speedy teams, and I mean speedy teams as in the team skates faster than them. Flyers struggle against that. Especially
That's why Tampa Bay.
What other way would you use the word speedy?
But see, the Flyers team really, everyone's excited.
No, what I mean.
I'm just talking shit, Will. Don't mind me.
Speed kills. That's what I'm talking about. You know what
I got you.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, the Flyers team really had, Game 7 last year left a bad taste in my mouth. The fact that no one showed up, not even the goaltender, nobody on defense, no one on offense. The only way this team beat the Islanders was in overtime. They really didn't play to the potential that everyone thought they had. And tell me, hold on. And everyone said, well, this is what their new regime on AV. No, yeah, but that all changes when you become the number 1 seeded team. That's what the round robin was for, to see who's going to be the number 1 seeded team. You are the number 1 seeded team. You have to now
And to go down against the Islanders, yeah, that's tough. Man.
Yeah,
yeah. I want to throw this out
exactly
here. I want to throw this out here because I'm usually not the guy to do this. I'm calling out the text board right now. Eagles topics, text boards exploding. We get to talk some puck. Nothing on the text board. Text board, I'm a little disappointed in you right now. I'm calling you out. I want some Flyers chatter on the text board.
Come on, wait, I mean, I'm very
okay. Wait, I want to go back a minute. So wait a minute. The goaltender dropped the ball, so to speak, last year.
Maybe they took a bathroom break, Tom. Maybe they all took a bathroom break.
Wait a minute. But the goaltender had one game where he had 40 saves, but he dropped. But he didn't do his job
in Game 7.
Right, but he didn't do his job. He had 40 saves.
He gave up some soft goals, Joey. No, he didn't.
He had some great saves, too.
He didn't do his job.
He had some great saves, too.
Try to give Carter Hart credit for losing to the Islanders. You're going to give him credit for losing to the Islanders?
Oh, man, this is great.
Wow.
Wrong.
No,
Don't you dare. Don't you dare, man.
Well, this is a Pat and Will team up. You know what, Joe? Joe James versus Pat and Will. I'll be your moderator. There you go. Here you go. Fight.
Your tag team main event of the evening.
Now, Carter Hart.
And then I'll be the heel referee.
Joey, the team in front of him did not play for him. I'm not sitting there saying Carter played like shit. The team in front of him did not play for him. That's what happened in that play.
That's where I get
frustrated. But at the same time, he did give up some shitty goals.
Al Zafari checks in. Thank you, Al, for heeding my hockey call.
Thank you, Al, for saying the exact thing I said earlier. Thank you. Pat, read that and understand that. Read that and understand that, sir. That man is brilliant.
Yeah, again.
What does that
–
Joe, what does that got to do with Carter Hart?
Right.
Well, no, that's the point that we had before. Pat was saying we're not going to do any better than we did last year. And I said I think we're going to do much better than we did last year because this is the deepest team that we have.
This was a deep team last year.
No, it wasn't. We were depleted.
If this team stays healthy, they will go deep. They will go really deep.
Joe, this far into last season, they were a deep team.
Healthy.
No, they're not.
Yes.
They have Oscar Lindblom. They have Nolan Patrick. They have guys that are in the minor leagues that they can bring up that they want to bring up. So they're a lot deeper than they used to be. You have scoring not coming just from the first or second line like it did last year. You have scoring coming from all four lines, and that is the literal definition of a deep team.
And listen,
I mean, Joey, that's only two games, though, Joey.
No, but
that's only two games.
Man, Al Thompson checks in.
No, if you want to compare,
you ain't never going to be able to keep up four lines. You're not going to be able to keep up four lines scoring all year, bro. You got
that's fine. You don't need.
You got to worry about what's going to happen in the playoffs. What lines? Right, you don't.
With this team, you don't.
That's what I'm saying. You're not going to average 5 goals a game all year long. You're not going to average that. You're not.
They also have experience under their belt.
Getting their asses kicked by the Islanders.
Yes, I was.
That's an experience.
Hold on, Joe. I have my game.
Hey, you got to get your ass kicked in the
little man's checking
schoolyard before you can give an ass kicking, right?
Sit down, bud. I see him. Yeah, he's checking. He wants to see what's going on. Yeah, look, you guys, we're talking puck. My man's going to pop up.
I know. I love it, dude. I see him at the Flyers Wives Carnival. He's all
yes.
For Flyers hockey.
He loves being at the barn. But but
I
listen,
think
we've talked about this.
Soon, man. I think it's too soon to get all excited. We do this all the time, man. All the time we do this. Let's maybe a good 20 games. Let's see 20 games, see what happens there.
Look, I'm not going to say, knocking off the Penguins was not impressive. You beat a team that's going to give you a dogfight every night of the week, and you beat them twice. That's good. Those are a plus positive signs. I'm just looking down the road. I'm just want to see, like we do with all the 4 teams in the city. We look down the road and see what's the potential there. And I got a stat on my man Drew. He's only 2 for 26 in his last postseason playoff games. 2. He's only had 2 goals in his last 26 games. Not good.
You're
Stinks.
not going to get me to stick up for Giroux, Pat, if that's what you're doing.
So Giroux gets you to the dance, but he does not dance.
No.
He gets you to the dance.
Sorry about that.
He don't even know how to bust. He doesn't know how to bust out the robot moves. You know what I mean? Like he's so terrible. Like me and recently
he does the Urkel dance.
Right. And I'm notorious for doing the Urkel dance. But Giroux. And Giroux is like me and
agreed.
Jason
Al,
Martinez.
12 to 13 games, definitely.
Yeah.
Me and Jason Martinez had this argument on Facebook. Yes, he's saying that we
get your fervor up, all right?
Jason, he said we praised the captain during this hot streak of the Flyers. I said no, you're wrong. We praised the goaltender and the coach. The captain of this team was never even mentioned one time from anybody in this city. It was only about the coach and the GM. I mean, the coach and the goaltender.
Jason can't get over his man crush. All right,
no, you're right. You're right. He can't.
He would throw in your face. I'm in the locker room. You're not. Yeah, well.
But I'm looking at the stats, and they show differently.
Jason. It's on paper. I understand. Hey, it looks good on paper, but it's
right there. It's what it is. Yeah, exactly. It's what it is.
I mean, Giroux does go up against the best talent, though, Pat. Giroux always, all the teams that play us, they always try to throw their best lines at Giroux all the time. Even more, dude. When he gets that,
maybe he'll have more success on the second line this year.
Yeah,
the guys that
you brought up a good point.
I hope so, man.
Well, you brought up a good point. They throw their best thing, but any star player in this game still knows how to, make his adjustments and still finds a way to light that lamp.
Well, he's not. I don't put Giroux up at the top. I don't.
No. I don't
do that. I'm sorry. Points are points. There you go. Right. Yeah. Points are points, man. You can score 100 points in 1 year. That don't mean that you were to let's go by game-winning goals.
Al has a question for you. Read the bottom of the
Let's look at that stat. How many game-winning goals did Giroux have last year?
Hey, Al, look, brother, I love you like a big brother. If he lost the C, I would do a cartwheel naked right here.
I was calling that 2 years ago. I was calling for that C.
Joey and I were sounding that horn, and Pat was on board with us too.
Yes. If this guy loses the C, but the C doesn't even matter. I just don't want him.
The whole show was.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I don't want the guy.
You don't want him on the team.
I want him to enjoy lobster night with Gossesbear. I want him up on the box. Don't even touch the ice. I don't want you around. I don't want you around Gritty right now. I mean, I don't
want your bad juju rubbing off on Gritty. When Gritty's walking around with security guards and Drew's trying to get his autograph.
Pat, you got a good point, man. And I think it's like I don't know what the percentage is of fans that love Giroux and hate Giroux, but when it comes down to it, what if this was like an Eagles team, and it's almost like the Zach Ertz situation? You get what I'm saying? But his is more about money, not about play. So Giroux is consistently just about play, and we never won anything with him. We never won anything.
Right.
That's your star player that you invested in to captain this team, and he is consistently lost.
Right.
So you keep losing as a captain, but you're still the captain? That doesn't make sense. That does not make any fucking sense. Zero fucking sense. Zero.
You're right. You're right. Well, because when you come in this city, you're accountable. Especially when you become a superstar in this city, you have a small, limited window of success. We limit you to see where you can take you, and at some point, we're ready to move on. And I've been ready to move on from Drew for 6 years now.
This city is like none I've ever seen.
Yes.
This city will hoist you on its shoulders and buy you a beer one day, and they wouldn't spit in your mouth if you were dying of thirst the next. This city is rough. Okay,
yes.
But Tom, over and over and over.
I
You're
don't
the
disagree
captain,
with you, Guns.
And you
I
didn't
don't
win
disagree.
shit. You didn't win shit. That's the
Listen,
problem.
I've said
I
this
don't
before.
mind him being on the team, to be honest with you, but he can't be your leader.
No,
I-
he can't.
I-
No,
Be
he
your
can't.
leader
You're
no
right.
more.
I've said this before. He is a me guy, not a team guy. He's a guy that wants his own personal stats and rack them up and
Yeah, I
tally them
never
up
agreed
and
with that.
everything.
Listen,
else.
listen,
I
listen.
don't.
And now I got to ask the question: Has Carson Wentz been hanging with Drew? Because Drew knows how to get rid of head coaches around here. So you know, has he learned something from Carson? Or has
Maybe.
Carson listened to something? I mean, I'm telling you, this guy he's moved on from Labby. He only gave was it Berube a cup of coffee to be here.
Yeah.
Dave Hacks,
Instead of the dog, like you got a painting, and instead of the dogs playing poker, it's Carson Wentz, it's Real Muto, it's Drew, and it's Ben Simmons, and they're all talking to each other. Ben's like, I'm still not going to shoot any threes this year. Drew's like, I probably won't get any more goals in the playoffs. Like, Carson Wentz is like, I just got rid of Peterson. Like, compensation.
Tom, you brought up a good point. It's not good to have an athlete on your team that is stubborn.
No.
That is stubborn. That's what those players are.
It depends on where the stubbornness lies. If it's stubborn, like Ben Simmons not wanting to shoot a three, I wouldn't say Drew not getting a goals in the playoffs is stubborn. I would say that's more inside his head. Carson Wentz inside his head, things like that.
No. It is stubborn for Drew, because why is it that the playoffs you can't score, but you can score during the regular season?
Because the playoffs are a totally different game. Everybody knows that.
Stars shine brighter.
He can't adapt to it. Yeah, but you should work on that competition.
One word.
You just consistently keep on shitting the bed in the playoffs?
He said himself he cannot play well under this.
He is not a Sidney Crosby. He is not your Ovechkin.
Pressure either makes diamonds or burst pipes.
Those guys rise to situations. Drew shrinks. And I know if Pat Stecker, my buddy Pat Stecker, was listening, he'd be on our asses right now for talking about Drew, but I don't care. We are not wrong. This guy did not get bumped to the second.
They gotta dude, players in this league are they need to learn how to compartmentalize, man. And they need to really look into what their flaws are and fix those. Stop consistently working on
that's called development.
And start working on what's bad.
But that's called development.
Exactly. Fix your freaking problems.
They don't want to if they think they're stars.
To fix his issues. Drew's had a long time to fix his issues.
Well,
it's done. It's
stars think they've already made it. Stars already think they've made it. But the great ones always improve their game.
You can't.
The great ones always improve their game. You look at people like Tom Brady. He always changes how he plays. You look at Wayne Gretzky. He always changed how he plays.
All right, Al.
All these
There's an easy
guys.
way to fix this, Al. There's an easy way to fix this. You know how to get into StreamYard. Why don't you come on in?
Stop talking trash. Come on, Al. Stop talking trash from a distance and let's go. Let's go.
But no, I mean, look at
I got it all for you,
Pat. Over here, we go after head honcho at a radio station. We don't care.
You cannot be the leader.
Not to close with anybody.
No.
When you keep on losing every year for your team and you shit the bed in the playoffs as their leader, you shouldn't be the leader no more. That's it. Keep Drew. Take that fucking C right off his jersey. Take it off.
Throw it in the pit and light it on fire. Yeah.
But that's it.
Well, it's all fired up.
When you lead, you gotta win. When you lead, you gotta win. If you're losing, then you don't lead.
Lead by example. Lead by example. If you can't lead by words, lead by example.
Let me ask you guys a question.
Exactly.
You seen last year, whether you want to call it a lightning in the bottle, but Jimmy Butler goes down to Miami. What do they do, Wells? They respected him as the captain of the captain veteran in that locker room, and they fist off.
They fought for him.
They fought for him. They feast off his leadership. That's what they did well in Miami last year.
Yep.
Now, any other great team has got a great leader, well, they will feast off of you. You saw the one goal he did make last year in the postseason. The rest of the team sparked. I mean, connecting went off. Kevin Hayes went off. Everybody was going off. You need that leader to make an imprint so the guys behind you know you're for real and know you want to go somewhere. Because whether what the coach says or not, they always look at the leader in the locker room to see how he's respecting to the team, how he's responding to the coach's decisions. If he's responding, if the coach is responding.
Well, you gotta. He's great with his comparison, what he said, because he went to another sport. He didn't stay with hockey. He talked about what Jimmy Butler did with the Sixers, which we also stayed Philly to Philly and what happened in Philly. But look what they did. That guy was leading the team, and they let him go.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? Sports, we don't know what the hell we're doing. We really don't.
No, that's kind of
like you were one game away. You were one game away from beating the NBA champions.
One
I mean, they went on to win the damn whole thing. The whole damn thing.
Points. 4 points.
You know
the triple
what I'm
points.
saying? So when that came down to it, that's a killer. Giroux's not a killer. When you got a guy captain and nobody else is winning, no one else is winning on your team, no one's scoring. You're relying on third line guys to score, second year pro guys to score, rookies to score. What are you doing? You're the captain. What are you doing? Nothing.
He cares about his golf game more than he cares about his hockey game.
Al checking in. Still hiding behind the text board, but he's checking in.
Al, Giroux will lead you to the water, but apparently he ain't drinking it with you. When he gets you to the playoffs,
Collegiate in the middle of nowhere.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are fired up today.
All you gotta do is get into the dance, but he don't dance when he gets there. You know what I'm saying? Like we see this every year. Giroux's gonna put up points all year long, but when it comes to the playoffs, he doesn't do shit. That's the way it is. He doesn't do shit.
Yeah, but
I shouldn't be talking about Kevin Hayes had an amazing game. What about Giroux? What about Giroux? It doesn't matter. The team won. The team won. It doesn't matter what Giroux.
Here's how I'll tell you. You know this argument will never get won because Joey and Will are on the same side of it. So any person that's coming to the doorstep about Giroux will lose when Will and Joe are on the same side of an argument.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I'm just saying.
We live in
basically Al saying, we just swept.
Yeah, you know what I do?
You guys are still on the Giroux hate train.
Yeah,
Joey, I know you're the same way, Joey. Because when you play your NHL season, right? Don't you trade Giroux? Don't you trade him? Tell the truth. Do you keep him?
First move I make. It's the first move I make
right away. So first thing I do. He even sucks in the NHL games. He even sucks in those friggin' games, too. He can't win shit in those games either.
Let me go back to Al's question. Al goes, why, we just beat Pittsburgh. Again, Pittsburgh's captains line up the lamp. Ours is nowhere to be found. I mean, a couple of good assists. That's it. But again, I need to see this guy lighting the lamp. We're only 2 games in, and Crosby's already finding ways to light the lamp. And this guy just knows how to go find a cheesesteak in South Philly somewhere.
Hey, that's a good role. A cheesesteak in South Philly somewhere.
No.
Yeah, Giroux doesn't age like wine, dude. He ages like beer. You know what I mean? you sit the beer in the fridge. It's too long. It's not good.
All right. Listen.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
Watch one thing.
I gotta steer us.
Wow, I am making that a shirt
as the captain of this ship. As the captain of this ship, I gotta steer us in a different direction, okay? Because I just can't. I just can't. With the Flyers are 2-0. That's awesome. The Philadelphia 76ers are 9-4. Maybe we could get into end the show with a little Sixers talk. Clap your hands.
2 bullshit losses.
2 BS.
2 bullshit losses.
Right. James Scorza, you all right over there? Just checking on you, buddy. I'm going to jump into the Sixers here for the last.
Yeah, so I can't hear you guys too well. I'm sorry
you're on a delay, James. You might need to go upstairs. You're in the dungeon, dude.
That's my main man, James.
James, the hammer. I think we might have to
76ers.
steal the hammer from Joey. Give it to James. Listen, I have a question. And okay, I guess we're going to keep our sour notes going this week, but it's what gets us most fired up. Is Ben Simmons regressing?
No, stop this.
Is Ben Simmons regressing?
Ridiculous.
Oh God!
Ridiculous.
Well,
I don't know. His defense game hasn't been great as of late.
Oh, he ain't progressing. Hey, Tom.
He's not progressing, is right, Willie Guns. That is correct.
He only does a triple double. I mean, that's all he does is a triple double. Okay. I mean,
but the whole time we're saying we're not trading him for for Harden because of his defense. The defense has been lackluster a little bit. Yes. The defense has been lackluster with Ben Simmons in the past few games, and that's worrisome a little bit.
Yeah,
the whole defense has. You can't just blame it on Ben now.
No. You're right.
Yeah, but he's supposed to be your defensive specialist.
And so is Embiid. Embiid's supposed to be the key specialist. How many blocks does Embiid have this year?
Yeah, but Embiid's not down low as much as your normal center.
Oh, well, we're going to give excuses now. We're going to give excuses to Joel Embiid, but we're not going to.
Is he down low as much as a normal center is to get blocks in the paint like that?
Defensively, he is.
Joe,
defensively, he is.
He moves in and out of the paint more than any big man in the league. You know that. Come on.
But he is supposed to be our defensive stalwart.
No, Ben is. Ben's supposed to be.
He's the point guard. How is he supposed to be the point? How is he supposed to block and steal?
Let's not give
hold
Ben
on.
Simmons all the fuck. I'm tired of talking about Ben Simmons.
No, because you're wrong.
We just talked about Giroux for a half an hour in an argument we had 3 years ago. What do you mean you're tired of talking about Ben Simmons?
He's tired because he's wrong.
Why? Why is he wrong?
One guy that's
he won't take
another guy that we could stand.
You know what I'm saying? He won't even dunk the ball. You see how many times he drives to the lane and he just dishes it out?
I won't disagree with that. He needs to dunk the ball more. I will disagree with that. But he gets to the hole.
Yeah, but then he doesn't finish.
Yeah, I agree.
How can you be that strong and tough getting to the hole and finish as soft as he does?
Well, he's like Voracek.
How can you be a number 2 in the NBA and struggle to score 10 points? Okay.
Yeah, look,
he's busy passing the ball to wide open 3-point shooters.
Joey, Hammer, I'm talking to you.
Yes.
Listen, again, with we're saying,
that's what I don't understand.
When your center is going to get double team and triple team, you're going to need him some kind of a reliability to shoot that rock at some point. At some point, you can't rely on Danny Green and Seth Curry to bail you out all the time. You're the point guard. You're the star of this team. Shoot the rock just a little bit, just a little bit. You know what I mean?
Although you make that point, but Steph Curry and Danny Green have been shooting the lights out, so you can't knock that. But here's my point of view: is you got a guy in Ben Simmons that gets scrutinized about lack of shooting, but he does almost everything else perfectly right within his talent, and everyone just throws that away.
How do you score a basket in basketball, Joe? How do you score a basket in basketball?
You score a basket by putting the ball in the hoop. It doesn't need to be shooting. You put the ball in the hoop.
Definitely not.
It counts. But he also.
You would draft a guy. Listen, right now I'm giving you a draft pick, you top 5 pick. You would draft a guy that you know when you draft him. This is what it shows. It shows you the future. It gives you the future, and that's what you're going to get. What his average is, what his turnovers are, and the fact that he won't shoot. Are you drafting him? I'm wrong. You would draft Ben Simmons.
Because he's a once-in-a-millennial player.
You knew this
when you got him in the same conversation, when you got him in the same conversation as Oscar Robertson and Magic Johnson, and he's that unique of a player, I'm sorry.
Okay, hold on, Joe. I got a question.
No way.
I got a question, Joe. Where does Ben Simmons rank? on this year. This year, where does Ben Simmons rank on game average of points out of all the NBA point guards? We'll just say out of the top 100 point guards. Where do you think Ben Simmons ranks points per game?
He probably ranks at the bottom.
97.
Woo! Okay.
So,
but where is he? Where does he rank with assists?
I will check for assists right now.
Can you change your papers? Can you change your papers and put Will was right, Joey? My freaking number 2.
Assists, he's 6th in the league.
Oh, he's 6th.
Yes.
He's 6th. Oh, so that means he's distributing the ball. He's distributing the ball. Let me ask you guys. Pat, now I'm talking to you. Pat, now I'm talking to you. So, how much? What's worth more, a 2 or a 3?
Where the fuck? It's bad.
What's worth more, 2 or a 3?
2.
2's worth more than 3.
Okay. Rebound.
Yeah. No, in life too. I'm thinking of basketball term. No, 3. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Ben Simmons is 19 in rebounds.
Thank you. So when you have
that's not good.
When you're like an assist in the league among point guards, and you're leading the team in assists that way, then if you're kicking out assists to 3-point shooters like Seth Curry, like Danny Green, like Tobias Harris, you're also contributing points. And maybe in a different way, but it's still contributing points to the team. You would disagree that, like, if he's got 10 assists, no, but that doesn't matter. If he's distributing the ball to those players that are wide open and they're scoring and winning, how is he a deficit to the team? We've had point guards on this team. Evan Turner. We've had point guards on this team like Evan Turner, Drew Holiday. We've had guys that were inadequate at everything else but scoring.
2 people can't talk at once.
I know. Well, Will won't shut up.
Tom, what's his plus minus on the court? Because you keep saying the same shit over and over.
No, I'm not. You keep saying it over and over. I'm saying different things. You're saying things over and over.
Okay. So I don't have their plus minuses in front
You
of me.
keep saying he doesn't shoot over and over again, Will.
But he doesn't.
Right, but he doesn't have to. I'm not.
He doesn't shoot no more. I got over that. What I'm saying is he doesn't. What I'm saying is he's not the main guy out there that he should be because he's the number 2 to Embiid. But really, it's Jake Milton, it's Max, okay? It's those guys. It's Tobias Harris. It's not Ben Simmons. Do you understand that?
But he had. But how is Max getting wide open shots? How is Harris getting wide open shots? Because Embiid or Simmons is getting double teamed and they're kicking it out. That's how they're getting all those open shots.
Max scores when Simmons ain't on the court. No, I'm talking about
no. You can't. No.
They play better when he's on the bench.
No, they play better when he's on the floor.
Uh-oh. Where'd he go? Oh, he's clear. Oh, I got excited. I thought Big Al was coming in, and then he disappeared.
They play better when he's on the bench, Joe. They do. They play better when he's on the bench.
I don't know.
How could you be happy with his points per game, his turnovers, all that shit? How do you like it? How do you
have a lot of turnovers? What are you talking about? He doesn't have a lot of turnovers. He had 2 turnovers.
He has tons of turnovers.
He does not have a lot of turnovers, bro.
I don't.
Yeah, he does.
Man, this is rough crowd in here.
Yes, I like it.
He's had turnovers his whole fucking career.
Will, look it up.
You want me to be honest? He's had turnovers his whole fucking
Will,
career.
Look it up.
He's a turnover fucking machine.
Yeah, okay.
He's a turnover machine. Do you know, Joey, when you charge with the basketball and you get called for that charge, it's a turnover?
Do you know that he rarely gets called for a charge?
No, he gets called for a charge at least 1 to 2 times a game.
Because he doesn't go to the rack. He doesn't go to the rack.
I'm sorry,
goes
we
to the rack.
talking.
Not.
You guys
I don't
talking to
know.
me? I'm sorry, I can't hear you guys too well.
It's all right, James. It's all right. I got you.
Ben goes to the rack, but he doesn't finish. That's where I'll agree.
Here's the thing: he's not consistent.
Yo.
I'll change it up a little bit right there. He's not consistent. When he has a great game, he has a great game. I love him, but he's not consistent. He's not.
I could say the same thing for Harris.
Can you at least agree there? Harris is your number 3, though. You know what I'm saying? So Ben's your number 2. Ben needs to be
The
a
only
little
difference
more.
is for me. I think Ben's got to shoot more. That's what I gotta say.
Marks, you're using my
he
Drew
really
line
need
to
to
talk
shoot
about
more because
Simmons
when he
as
shoots,
far
he
as
misses
what
anyway.
Al's saying.
What is that?
You know,
mean?
Al snuck in, adjusted his setting or something, and snuck out. I tried to drop him into the studio.
What does that
He's
mean?
trying to come in, but the kid knocked me out. Well, get back in here, Al, because I would love to finish off the show having you in here, standing in front of the fire and squat. But
No.
go ahead.
I mean,
Go
your
ahead.
whole fan base, NBA analysts and everything, are asking you to shoot the basketball, and you still don't shoot.
Question. At some point, when does Doc come to him? Shoot it, or I'm going to
He
do
said
something
he
else.
wasn't going to. Doc
Yeah, but
already came out and said he's not going
Doc
to do
said
that.
as long as they're Pat, he will. But right now they're
No, he
winning.
won't.
So
Yeah, but
Doc's not
right.
gonna bother.
Yeah, but
if his
regardless,
non-shooting results into them struggling.
regardless, don't you want him shooting out before you get into the
What,
postseason?
Steve,
Because
you wanna say something?
Oh, yeah! Woo! We just got hot right up in here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And then there were 6. So we want to
Yes.
welcome in Big Al from the EOP Sports
My
Show.
man.
Come on,
My
Big
man.
Al.
Keith
Come on,
over
Big
here
Al.
at the Sports Network. Al, what's going on, bro?
Big Al. There he is.
All right. Hold
Here
on. Here's my point, Marks. I literally just said Drew was being a good captain by assisting the rest of the team score and do what they could do so they could put up 11 points in 2 games. But Ben Simmons, you trash him for that. But Ben Simmons, you just used the same exact example that with his assists and everything, and then now he's a generational player.
Is Ben a captain? Is Ben a captain?
It doesn't matter about that.
Yes, it
I'm just
does.
saying. No,
That's
it doesn't.
that's you just said that.
He's a generational
you're-
player, so he should be able to put up 20, 30 points. It's bull. That's
But
two
if
different
he's
sports. There's no
contributing-
captains in basketball.
Okay,
Come on,
wait a
man.
minute. If he's contributing to 30 points via his assist, how is he not contributing in that way?
How's Giroux not doing the same thing?
Drew
When he's got
assisted on 3
3
goals.
assists and 11 goals in 2
Or, I'm
games.
sorry, laugh both.
That's
games,
what I'm
yeah.
saying. I'm not saying you're right or wrong on if Drew needs to step it up or not. I'm also not saying that I will disagree with you on saying Ben is a generational player at this point. He has not earned that credit yet.
He's in the same conversation with Oscar Robertson and Magic Johnson, who are generational players then.
Whose conversation? Yours?
No, it's everyone. He gets mentioned every time he has a triple double.
Oh, wow.
The same number, the same thing.
They also mentioned him in the same.
Yeah,
breath
but
as
he's like
Magic
number
Johnson
3 by
all the
he's
time.
number 3. He's number 3 by miles.
But what I'm trying to say, Al, is
With Oscar
is
Robertson
I've
and
never
Magic.
taken away
Triple-double stats.
that Giroux is not a talented player. I am not taking that away. He's not a leader.
Right now,
He is not a leader on that team. He should not wear the C because he doesn't represent the C.
But has anybody alluded that he, outside of like let's not talk about assists, goals, or points or anything like that? Has anybody alluded that he can't lead? He can't be a good captain, a good leader? I have honestly never heard that. I've never heard any players leaking anything out. I've never even heard anybody write some. I haven't heard any weasels write anything about that.
I don't know.
Because it's the eye test. If you're losing in the playoffs and your team is demoralized and you're down by 3 goals in the second period, the leader has to go in that locker room and rally the troops. Would you not agree?
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Okay, well then there you go. If he's not able to do that, then he's not a leader.
So they lost that last playoff game because Giroux didn't rally the troops. Is that what I'm understanding?
No, he's not a leader because I'm not making it a microcosm with one game. I'm not seeing it in a microcosm with one game. I'm seeing it in a bigger picture. He hasn't done it at playoff after playoff after playoff. He comes up small.
Listen, I'm not disagreeing.
Hey.
He needs to step up and come in. He was lost. Now,
He can't do it.
I don't care who's scoring goals. Like, I don't care who's scoring baskets in basketball as long as the wins are coming in. I'll agree with you. If they were winning and Drew still was only doing assists and not putting any pucks in net, you wouldn't have this complaint. And that's because that's the difference between winning and losing. If you'd be stroking Drew and every other player on that team if they won. It's that simple. That's into a loss. If they won the series and everybody else put the points up, but he was involved in assists and he was doing his job, we wouldn't care. Now, I will agree. As a captain, you would expect the captain in hockey to be one of the leading point scorers on the team, both in assist and on goal. So I agree with you on that. I'm just trying to get laughable because you, Mark. I'm being honest. I have this conversation with a lot of people because the way people jump around, like I say the same thing with the Carson Wentz thing. I'll hear the same thing about Carson Wentz, but we'll defend Ben Simmons to the end of the earth. I never understood that. I like Ben Simmons. I can't say I can't put him in generational talent. I think he has the talent to be. It is this, we talk about mindset years. Claude Drew combined because he looks like he doesn't want to shoot because he just doesn't want to look bad. He doesn't want to miss because it might hurt his stats and that generational player outlook from people.
I don't disagree with that, but he's still very young. He's got to get that head into the situation that he's not going to hurt his team.
How long are we going to use the excuse that he's very young, Joe, when he's walking with a walker? Because we've been using that for a couple of years.
He's 25.
I know, and he's been in the NBA how long?
Well, it's like,
but wait a minute. Whoa, wait a minute. But when did Kobe Bryant win his first championship? When he was really young. But what did he have around him?
Did Kobe Bryant take 6 years to shoot the basketball?
No, but Kobe came out of high school shooting the basketball.
I know.
But did Kobe come out and distribute the ball? Did Kobe come out and do the other intangible things that he was able to do towards the end of his career?
After his first 5 years, yeah.
No.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, Pat, I got you.
Okay.
I mean, look,
I was getting some feedback from you.
I just get irritated. I just get irritated with a guy like Will and Pat who's saying that all they have to do is just shoot the ball.
For a while, dude.
I'm not saying. Look, he's got to help out at some point. He's got.
I said he quiet, okay? NBA analysts, big-time NBA players are all saying the same shit. So you must be, you right or you wrong? What do you think you are? You think right? Ben Simmons, they all say how, just like Al said. But the thing is the guy won't shoot the friggin' basketball. This is a mental issue? What is it?
Will is right, it says.
Does he not? Does he not kick past the basketball? Is that what it is? It's ridiculous, dude.
Look at how many points he puts up, and then look at the assist, and look at what he assists on.
Come on.
If he's
on the play, Al, you see this?
Yeah, but Joe, don't you agree? If for him to take his game to the next level, he's going to have to shoot the ball just a little bit to order and win a championship in this league? Don't you think he's got to shoot the ball just a little bit? Don't you see the East with all these good coaches are going to adjust to his game and shut him down at some point?
Yeah, that's a good question, Pat.
You know what I mean? They're going to.
Let me ask you a question, Pat.
Get Hammer.
How many times
he's
have we tried to change a player, a superstar? How many times have we tried to change a superstar's game in this city, and it's been at a detriment?
With the Ben Simmons situation, let me ask you a question, since everybody's asking questions. In 5 years, when he's still not shooting, you're going to say he's only 30? Then he's only
5 years. In 5 years,
right.
Three-pointers at a 30% clip, I'm going to tell you, well, he developed his three-point shot, didn't he?
Yes, because the first 5 years showed you that he's on track to do that.
Well, let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this question, and this is Ben Simmons not generational? Should we trade him? Should we not? Let me ask you this: if we right now we have a window of opportunity. You got Ben Simmons playing. I mean, I'm sorry, not Ben. Joel Embiid playing at a high level. He's a big man playing at a very athletic high level. Let's be honest, his shelf life is going to be a lot less than most. And he's already a couple years older than Ben. If Ben and him can't sync up, they got to make a decision. That's why, with the whole Harden thing, I still don't know how I would have felt if Harden and Ben, if they traded Ben for Harden and whatever else. I don't think I would be upset, but it's just about timing. If you can't line those two up, it's the point of having two superstars if they're not going to be superstars at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, right.
I get that. That makes sense to me.
It makes a lot of sense, but and again too, like, and I'm getting tired of hearing, well, he's only like 24.
Yeah, but Al,
league
if
is
you
young,
put Big Ben on a different team, do you think he would play differently?
That's the worrisome. That's the worrisome.
Do you think he would play?
That's the dice you roll, Will.
Yeah,
I mean,
Will, here's the
Haven't
deal.
we rolled it enough?
Yeah, if the Harden trade goes through and Ben's on Houston, does he shoot in Houston all of a sudden? Does he think he has to now? Does he think he doesn't have to shoot now? It's just
how many times in this city, especially as a Sixer fan, how many times have we rolled the dice
I think
and
he
come up
could wind up
craps?
I think he could wind up becoming a friggin' sixth man.
Not in LA.
Listen, I don't. Like I said, I really like Ben Simmons, and I think he has every aspect to be a great if he, but without the shot, I mean, even Magic Johnson, I mean, like, he wasn't that great in the beginning. He had to develop a shot. A lot of guys had to develop shots. I don't feel like if he is trying, and it doesn't have to be 3, 10 foot, 20 foot, just a jumper. Like, I mean, I like when I first saw him the way beginning of this season, when he was being aggressive and driving into the hoop. If he can do that on a consistent basis, I don't care if he takes another jumper. But the problem is that stops, and then that's when injuries and other things start to come into play, and then he can't play. You saw it when Embiid can't play. Did Ben step up? Was he a good captain? Was he a good leader at that point? Ben, you're a big guy. Your point scorer was not there. Did he step up and fill in the gap?
Same could be true from when Ben got hurt and Joel was out there. Did the team step up with Embiid out there? No.
Yeah, but there was a lot more pressure on Tobias Harris at that point. You know what I mean? Because look at last year's bubble. Everyone was looking at Tobias Harris to be the next X factor to get, to help out, and he wasn't. I mean, Embiid was taking double teams. Embiid was taking double teams all day long. I mean, Boston was trying to shut this guy down the best way they could, and yet, he was looking for help on the outside, and there was nothing. You had nothing, and plus, you had a coach who was meant for the YMCA and not for the NBA.
Yeah, so we're pushing on the 2-hour mark. I don't want to keep this going. We're beating on Ben. I get it. So to close the show, I wanted to do with one more question. And Michael, I hope I'm pronouncing your last name correctly, Hellquist. Michael Hellquist, again from Sweden, checks in and says, Jonas Jerebko has now broken with his Russian team, BC Cheminsky. Would be great for the 76ers. Joey, your thoughts?
Listen, I've been following Jabrovsky for a while. I'll tell you right now, I know all about him. He is the next Ben Simmons times 10.
It's a good thing you said his last name right, too, Al.
Yeah, whatever.
Well, listen, thank you, Mike, for checking in from Sweden. It means the world to us. I really do.
Then in that case, leave that.
I don't know, guys. You froze out on me.
Over there.
Well, listen. Before we go any more off the rails, man, I gotta sign off. Before I sign off, though, let me go do a recap of how we started the show here. First off, I want to talk about fan tees. Buy yourself a Ben Simmons t-shirt and get $20 off with your Edge of Philly promo code. And if the t-shirt, if you give the Ben t-shirt to Will and he throws it out, maybe you could get Will a nice Edge of Philly sports hat. They come in 4 different colors: green and cream, black and white, charcoal and red, and charcoal and orange. I got to see if I can sneak one of those charcoal and orange ones off of Al over here. Again, with that said, it's not just the Pattison Ave Phanatics here. We're a big family here at EOP. We definitely want you guys to check out Bird's Eye Q. Always bringing the heat on that show. Broad Street Bully podcast. Them boys are fired up that the Flyers are 2-0. Apparently, we're not, and all we do is complain about everything. My buddy Jim Chatchesko and Bill Furman over at Philly Press Box Radio. Those guys, like I said, have top-notch guests almost every week. And for all your lacrosse news, now that my computer's frozen and I can't switch over to the Lax Philly.
Hold on 1 second. I think I can help you out here. There you go.
Hold on. I think it's starting there. Wait. All right. So we're back here. But the boys from Lax Philly, all of your, oh God, my computer's doing something crazy now. So if I disappear, I'll have somebody else close the show. But anyway, so check out the guys at Lax Philly for lacrosse information. There's nobody in the business that does it better. So for Jamie Scorza, Joseph Francis Mark,
it, man.
Willie Guns, my man Pat the Gobbler from Ambler checking in with us, and Big Al Safari from the EOP Sports Show. First off, check out Pat tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. on the Crack Bell
Thanks for
Production
coming on,
Network for the Devereaux Sports Show. Look, we love Pat. Pat, your family, brother. Your family here. You're always welcome on our show as well. So
thank you.
With that said,
thank you, John.
And Al,
guys.
you
Appreciate
can catch
it.
Al on Wednesday nights on the Edge of Philly Sports Show at what, 9:30, Al, is it, or 9 o'clock?
9:30.
9:30. I thought it was 9:30. So for all of us sitting here, we do appreciate all of you guys. Go Phils, go Flyers, go Birds, go Sixers.
All right.
Yes. Gentlemen,
right,
thank
guys.
you so much. I love you guys. And
Love
it was
you
great.
too, brother.
Again, anytime you guys want to hop on with me, you guys are more than welcome.